you will be orbiting Earth more and more times for 5 days, flying with a crew of 4 people, 2 men and 2 women around our planet, reaching the farthest point until the Apollo generation, performing EVA extracurricular activity, and then re-entering back on Earth, all on a privately funded company, on a privately funded capsule and completely privately funded mission. This is the Polaris program. Welcome back on the SpaceInfo podcast. Here we talk about space and everything related to it. If you are passionate about space, astronomy, technology and everything about it, you can join all our social platforms at the SpaceInfo Club or our website at www.spaceinfo.club, where tons of content and a community of experts are there waiting for you. This is the SpaceInfo Club. And what's being launched on next Monday, 26th of August 2024, is the Polaris Dawn Mission, the new generation of spaceflight. The Polaris Dawn is the first of 3 missions of the Polaris program. It will be launched on Monday, 26th of August 2024, around 7:38 GMT, on board of a Falcon 9 rocket inside a Crew Dragon capsule. Following this mission, the second mission, Mission 2, will be building upon a Polaris Dawn, and this mission will continue to expand the boundaries of future human spaceflight missions in space communication and scientific research. It will be again on board of a Crew Dragon capsule by SpaceX again, and will be the second of the program, anticipating the third one, which will be maybe the most revolutionizing of the entire program and also of human spaceflight itself, Mission 3, which will be the first human spaceflight on Starship, the world's first fully reusable transportation system designed to carry both crew and cargo to Earth orbit, Moon, Mars and beyond. It will be indeed the first fully human flight of this spacecraft, the Starship, by SpaceX. We still don't know the precise date in the future. The program has just started, and the first mission is forecasted with a very high accuracy of being executed, as said, on August 26. So, what's the purpose of the mission? Well, 4 people. A crew of 4 people, 2 men and 2 women, will fly to space on the Polaris Dawn to conduct scientific experiments mainly. Some of them will have repercussion on human spaceflight in general, and some of them will be, privately oriented to SpaceX itself. Indeed, also one side purpose of the mission itself has happened for inspiration for mission, which was what we would say bootstrapped in a business language, but it was entirely privately funded, not by SpaceX, but by the millionaire Isaacman. And also in that case, one of the purposes of the mission, as well for this one, will be raising money for the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis. I want to remember you that for the people who are sort of haters of these kind of missions, well, the amount of money of inspiration for mission raised something like $240 million for the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis. Well, there are also some firsts in this mission, and the highest altitude any human has reached since the last Apollo mission in 1972. The apogee of the mission, the highest apogee, so the most distant point from the surface of our planet, will be of 870 miles, which is around 1,400 kilometers. I want to remember you that the mission will consist of several orbits for something like 5 days around our planet, and the distance from our planet Earth will increase, at least at the apogee, which is the most distant point of each orbit, and these orbits will enlarge themselves until reaching an apogee of the elliptical orbit of something like 1,400 kilometers. Another first of this mission, maybe the most fascinating one will be the spacewalk by commercial astronauts on board of a Dragon capsule, where the whole capsule will be depressurized, so the whole crew will have to wear the commercial spacesuits for EVA dedicated on this purpose. So the most ready to listen people will have also caught the third point, and so 2 people will get out of the spacecraft and 2 will remain inside. However, all of them will have to wear the EVA suits, which will be needed due to the depressurization of the whole environment. So they will conduct experiments, which will be, in this case, most the purpose of these experiments, particularly inside the EVA, so the extravehicular activity will be dedicated to testing the suits themselves, and then they would come back into the capsule and continue their mission. Another first of this mission, as I have anticipated, are the SpaceX suits, which will be equipped with advanced materials, a thermal management system, and a new coating on the helmet visor. I have not published the images here because I am inviting you to visit our website at www.spaceinfo.club for further details, more information and articles on our website, which for sure are available completely for free, and also the interviews inside the Space Info magazine are completely free. The only thing you have to do is just signing up to the website, which again is free. Just need your email address, and then you will access completely free content that's there waiting for you. So the launch system will be a Falcon 9 rocket together with a Dragon capsule. What's important in this configuration, which is, let's say, common, generally speaking, also for astronauts reaching the ISS, will be the fact that the Falcon 9 rocket will be at its 4th flight, as well as the Crew Dragon capsule will be at its 3rd flight. And the first flight of this capsule was the flight of Inspiration 4 mission, which was flown by Jared Isaacman himself in 2021, when, as I was saying at the beginning, the first private mission occurred. So as a symbol or again as a repercussion of this flight, the Crew Dragon capsule will be reused again, demonstrating the strength of SpaceX also in this case. So, which will be the mission profile? Well, the overall duration of the mission will be 5 days, from Monday to Saturday of next week, and the Dragon spacecraft will complete several orbits before increasing its maximum altitude and reaching the highest point, the most distant one, to Earth. Then the crew will conduct at, let's say, an intermediate orbit a spacewalk. Then they will conduct experiments, which won't be only on the EVA suites, but also there will be some scientific experiments that we'll see in a while. And then also they will attempt during the whole mission a Starlink connection. And what's peculiar in this case is the fact that for sure they won't be on Earth, so they will fly sometimes below, but most of the time above the Starlink constellation. And well, the fact that to use the words of the crew, it's not having internet on board is not like switching on a switch or switching it off like here on Earth, but will be a little more complicated. So they will have to align their communication antennas towards the constellation, and in particular to the satellites of the constellation. They will probably use a laser connection, which will have to be aligned with the satellites, and also will have to chase the moving satellites, and also with respect to the also moving spacecraft. So it will be a very interesting connection to establish, to have high-speed internet on board. But for sure that's something that we have already seen while watching the last Starship launch and orbital flight. Thanks to Starlink, we could see the images live, basically. So the same thing will be attempted this time, but with an almost complete coverage of the whole mission. And so what about the experiments? Well, let's give a look to this. So some experiments apart from the EVA suits testing will be about using ultrasound to monitor, detect and quantify venous gas emboli (VGE), while also gathering data on the radiation environment to better understand how space radiation affects humans' biological system. But this is quite of a particular point, relatively speaking, because as said, this mission will fly at the highest point, most distant one with respect to our planet, from 1972, when the last Apollo mission occurred. So you will understand quite easily that so a radiation-rich environment is something that also on the space station people don't experience, and also astronauts will be exposed to a higher amount of radiation. For sure the mission will be of a shorter duration, so not particular concern about the human beings, but for sure the amount of radiation will be something to be studied, something that will give scientists particularly interesting material to understand how the systems and also how the human body will behave in this particular context. So also something which has not to be undervaluated is the fact that the micrometeoroids and meteorites flying through the atmosphere are usually, apart from the meteorites, but until they are defined as meteoroids, they don't reach Earth's surface thanks to the Earth's atmosphere. So these very small but high-speed bodies are also flying in these let's say mission orbits. So they are not they have different trajectory to the ones expected, for example for the ISS. So they will be clearly, they can be detected, but with a much more limited prediction ability. And also they will have completely different trajectory, for example with respect to the ones we are used to. So there will be maybe a smaller concern due to the probability of hitting the spacecraft, but for sure this probability won't be zero, so nothing has been left to the chance, and this is also something to be considered. So also some other aspects of scientific research will be providing biological samples towards multi-omics analysis for long-term biobank, even though the mission will be of short duration, but thanks to a relatively high radiation environment. So the parameters of, for example, aging of the cells will be quite different in terms of let's say aging and also behavior of the cells itself. So very interesting also from this point of view. Also research related to spaceflight and also associated neuroocular syndrome called SANS, which is something which has been discussed for a long time, also for people flying 400 kilometers above the space, above our planet, which is something defined as a key risk to human health in long duration spaceflight, and it's particularly important because it has been studied for long, and is one of the main main causes of diseases for astronauts flying on the ISS, and this is something that has been also studied for long, and measuring the intracranial and also intraocular pressure on the human beings is a fundamental parameter to monitor and also to study this disease, and is also something that will be conducted on this mission, and it will be done thanks to eye lens, particular contact lens, which will be worn by people on board, maybe not from the whole crew, but at least a couple of them, we still don't know by whom. And also this will allow the scientists to monitor intraocular pressure, and this is particularly important because of the let's say commonality of this syndrome affecting astronauts flying. So will you watch the launch live? Well, maybe if you're wondering when it will happen, the answer is next Monday, so August 26, 2024, 7:38 a.m. GMT. So let me know if you are watching this video before the launch. Let me know if you will watch the launch live, and if as already occurred, let me know in the comments what were your thoughts while seeing these Falcon 9 rockets skyrocketing into the sky. So this is the crew, and from left to right we have Anna Menon, Poteet, Scott Poteet, Jarek Isaacman, and also Sarah Gillis. So what's let's say important, also particular, even more in this mission, is the fact that the two women on the sides of the photo, so Anna Menon and Sarah Gillis, are two employees of SpaceX, and also they gave a particularly relevant contribution to human space flights in this company. And they have already all flown in space some time ago, so they have been together for almost 3 years now, and they are said to be the ideal crew for this space flight. So is the future here? I don't know, I think so, but let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.